Hi everyone, my name is Yonatan Meiri. I'm here to talk to you about the Beryl protocol. It's a blockchain with privacy and compliance built in. I think the notion of privacy is mostly known. Nobody wants private data to be shared. The notion of compliance is a little bit more complicated. You heard it here on stage. Think about blood diamonds, something that might have value, but you're not really allowed to trade it. Brief introductory to the team. Ido Berger is our CTO. He's here in the crowd. BSc in computer science at the age of 19, master's in computational linguistics from Tel Aviv University. Lee Kind, which sits on the far right, Air Force pilot. They always seem to have the shortest resume. A little bit about the extended team. We have Yossi Barnea, the Chief Investment Officer from the Tshuva Group. Dr. Moshe Bareket, the chairman of Haphoenix Group, the former chairman of Haphoenix Group, which is one of the biggest insurance companies in Israel. Igor Rybenki, an investor. Dave Baggett, the founder of ITA Software, and Gigi Levy, which all of you know. All these guys have invested in the past couple of weeks in the pre-sale in our upcoming ICO. When Marc Andreessen talks about software as eating the world, he really means data and algorithms are changing the world. Data is a currency. I'll give you a quick example of what data is today and next year is very similar to what oil was in 1848. Back then, people understood the value of oil. People started to invest in collecting these massive fields of oil, even not understanding exactly how they will utilize it. The first refineries were being built. That being said, there were no standards, there were no exchanges, but it really was the onset of the Industrial Revolution. Similarly, data today, everyone understands that there's value in it. You heard Intel describe themselves as a data company, which is quite revolutionary if you think about where they came from. The first refineries are being built. There's no standards, no exchanges, but it is in fact the beginning of the data revolution. This is not a new concept. Data is the new oil. It's been around for over 10 years. But Clive Hubley said over 10 years ago, it cannot really be used until it's changed into gas, plastics, and chemicals. So we are now at the point where we are looking for the gasoline, maybe octane 95 of data. We know this firsthand. So the team that you saw here is backed by Superfly Insights, a data analytics company. I can't mention who we work with, but 4 of the top 6 ride-hailing companies in the world are our customers. And I'll give you an example of the refinery that we built at Superfly Insights, which as a protocol, we now want to expand to other companies as well. So if you think about one of the top performing data sets for us, a massive data sets of anonymized ride-sharing receipts, take 100K transactions from last week, we hash the ID, we obfuscate the address, and then we go to the market and sell it. We had to go through a compliance and privacy process with each and every company. It took anywhere from 3 to 6 months to go through that process, and it cost us about 30% of each and every deal that we made. That process is not scalable. And as you think about different types of data sets out there, if it's mobile location, clickstream data, or e-receipts that we deal with, it's simply not scalable to go through the privacy and compliance process as designated by the regulator for each and every single data set. Assuming the Beryl protocol was in effect today, you would basically have a proof of work model, meaning that by refining the data, you would get paid with the tokens to refine the data. New nodes can adapt to the protocol that is out there and start making money immediately. And the agreement among nodes leads to the standard. So if in the centralized economy, you would have multiple companies go over after a standard and one company would win, the blockchain actually enables you to build the standards as you go, as different companies join the blockchain and start earning money for their refinery that they have built. The regulator also, which in 2018 is going to apply the full force of the GDPR, will require each and every company that is buying and selling massive data sets to have these types of regulations built in. And again, I'm going back to the Intel example. Many companies, banking, insurance, retail, as they see their primary business model fall off a cliff, they are now seeing themselves as essentially oil fields of data. And that data must go through a refinery process in order to be market ready. So the big concept behind Beryl is, can we now convert these oil fields into something that is a commodity, into something that is gasoline, say octane 95, of one standard that can be bought and sold many times with a public ledger to designate that in fact each and every data set has gone through this process. The landscape of data companies is pretty far and wide. Each and every one of these companies essentially has built their own refinery for data, keeping all those insights in-house. And our goal is to essentially open this up so that each node can come on board and build their own refinery. As you think about refinery, and again, going back to the oil model, the way to refine data is to remove the impurities. As you think about consumer data, the impurities are in fact what's called the PII, the personally identifiable information. So as long as you're holding on to that information, you will be hard-pressed to market your data set. And I'll give three brief examples of the different types of data. Clearly, I search the internet and I find value in it. Web search is a big commodity in the data space. I don't want anyone to know what I've been searching for, but I'm very happy with people understanding the quality of various sites that are out there. Clickstream is the same thing. I don't want people to know what I'm doing, but I'm happy and understand the value in following which apps are being downloaded. And finally, as you think about digital receipts, clearly I don't want people to know exactly what I'm buying, but I can see the BI value of doing this at scale and anonymously. So the goal of Beryl, again, is to make sure that each of these data sets can be used for the data economy that's being built. A few things that you get on the backtail of the Beryl protocol. Again, built-in privacy, security, and compliance. This is critical. It also helps you build a network of refineries. So if you have a data set out there, if it's location data, clickstream, et cetera, you can join the node and start utilizing the data. And finally, consistent structure and quality assurance. A great way to think about it is, maybe 10 years ago, all the meat that was sold in Israel, in Shufelstan, whatever, had to be kosher. Most of my friends don't eat kosher, but they understand the process. So to that end, if you were walking the world with dollars in your pocket and shekels in your pocket, by buying meat with Israeli shekels, you were guaranteed that it's kosher. You can buy kosher meat with US dollars, but you would have to go through multiple stores in order to buy the kosher meat. So similarly, we're using Beryl as a way to kind of put the kosher stamp on the data so that when you buy data using Beryl tokens, you're guaranteed that you have privacy and security and compliance built in. Thank you very much.